Data Center Security, Martin Koldovski. Systems Engineer Manager, Eastern Europe, Checkpoint Software Technologies.
Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon. I hope that you had a good time and coffee was good. Let me introduce myself. I'm a big fan of technologies, big fan of useful technologies, and big fan of software as well, which is why I work for Checkpoint Software Technologies. And what we do in Checkpoint is only and only security to help you to meet the motto of this event, secure it and serve. So I hope that with Checkpoint, we will have together much more time to be surfing than solving the real issues and the real incidents. What Checkpoint is doing, we are not anymore just a firewall company. We have a lot of topics to cover. We are securing the networks. We are also securing the mobile devices. You have seen either this morning that there is a huge trend of shift of the focus of attackers to mobile space, mobile devices. We are securing the clouds. And what else? We are also securing the data centers. And my goal today is to give you some idea how the new changes, new technologies, new trends in the data center fit with the security. And what does it mean for you planning some new architectures and improvements in your data centers with your servers, how we can make sure that the security is in place, deployed in the right way. But talking about data centers, we should define them. Most probably this is not the case of your data center, but really the question is, are those data centers just still that same boring racks full of silicon, of servers, storage, networking devices? Or are there some new trends, some changes that we have seen in recent years and something that is in front of us? By the way, would you know who is the owner of this data center? Have you seen that picture before? So this is how it looks like inside Google's data center. So one thing that is happening already for several years in data centers and is affecting security as well is that a lot of servers, a lot of services are getting virtualized. Our customers and maybe even yourself are running many virtual machines. Sometimes it comes to hundreds and thousands of virtual machines we have with the big customers. And we see that we already solved this part of problems, so we are able to provision the server, the services quite a flexible way. We are not waiting anymore for weeks and months for server to be there in the rack and providing the services. On the other hand, it might be the networking that is slowing down, and it might be even security. It's very easy to power up to provision new service, but the infrastructure around is slowing us down, and we have to ask why, and what are the potential solutions that we are now seeing on the market. The reason why the networking might be slowing you down is that it's still in a little bit different stage. You will definitely agree with me that the networking boxes are usually specialized appliances. They are not only specialized, they are specialized in the way that they are running some custom chips that are enabling you the networking equipment functionality. And managing them is done usually using some proprietary standards. It might be even through command line, monitoring using protocols like SNMP. Sometimes it's done over the web, but there is no single standard that would allow you for more flexibility and much easier management. And also the intelligence that is telling how the traffic, how the packet, how the frame should be forwarded in the network is bound to those hardware devices. It's completely distributed. And I think for more flexibility, we need a bit change to open it a bit up. And this is what is happening. The good question is, if the security is in similar stage, and what is the status of security? Last year on this stage, I was talking about architecture that is called software-defined protection. It's basically architecture of Checkpoint, how we are seeing the way how you can be successful in providing a lot of different security technologies, sometimes in the security gateways, sometimes even on endpoints and mobile devices, sometimes in the cloud, and how to make sure that you can have the flexibility that maybe you already have with the virtualization. I will not go deep into that, but I just wanted to highlight that what Checkpoint is doing is already prepared to be part of the changes that we are seeing in modern data centers. Similar to software-defined protection, the aspect of flexibility that is coming to networking devices is bound to one of the initiatives, and it's SDN. Maybe you have noticed in the previous slide that the SDN idea should be based about centralizing and splitting between the data part of handling the traffic with the central part that is the control plane. That when it's central, when it's done with some open APIs, it gives you a flexibility to be as quick with networking part as you are with providing and provisioning new services on the virtual machines. One interesting quote proving that it's already started, it's already happening. Many big players, many big customers are heading there. It's like 1/5 of companies are already having some form of SDN deployed, and in coming years, it will be almost total half of the companies that are taking benefits of that new architectures. So what are the buzzwords behind that, but what are also the players behind it? Some of you know, some of them you already have in your data centers, and they are naturally developing in that direction, giving you more flexibility. They are creating some frameworks. There are even independent initiatives like OpenStack that is enabling you to create your own private clouds, similar to what you can get with Amazon services and so on. And technically, Checkpoint is active in all those initiatives, and we are providing solutions that are able to secure your cloud, your services, if you are going with VMware, if you are going with Cisco, or it is part of some private or public cloud. Public cloud, I mean services from companies like Amazon, Microsoft, IBM recently. So I think it's happening on many fronts already. Specifically, when it comes to networking, I think it's very nicely documented by Gartner's Magic Quadrant that is issued for networking in data center. And you might notice that even VMware is now considered as a player, especially thanks to NSX solution. And it might be good to consider those types of solutions because it's not only giving you some flexibility, but it may somehow lower your costs. The question is that with the power that you are getting from SDN, aren't you doing some compromises on security? And is it security problem or is it enabler for your security? So what it means for companies implementing those solutions, we can split the problem into two parts. One of them, which is a bit better understood, better covered, is something that we can call north to south, south to north direction, and it's basically an idea that I can put some, especially these days, physical devices in front of your group of servers and provide the security more traditional way, putting in the rack some additional appliances, security gateways that are protecting your data center from outside work, and that they are setting some rules. What is the possibility? What the consumers of the data center can use? And then there is a new part that used to be overlooked, and thanks to new integration points, it's getting much more attention. And it's a part that we can call east to west, that is basically covering the communication, the direct communication inside data center, inside virtualized data center between virtual machines, and how to control the direct communication. And the rest of my presentation, I will try to cover the options that we have for both those two types of flows. Forming some idea about checkpoint solution that might be used for those two types of flows. So usually it's the physical hardware devices that are covering that traditional part to and from data center, to and from virtualization. Sometimes it might be even extended to the fact that those virtualized servers are split into some VLANs. So we are taking the benefit of existing physical networking, taking out all the communication between two groups of servers, and making sure that it's handled via some security decisions forwarding between the two groups. Example, having multi-layer applications with database, application logic, and some maybe web front end. We can divide the servers in these three groups, and we can take the flow outside of that virtualization, process it on physical devices, and go back. So let's focus on this part. What really matters here is the performance. You don't want to put into your environment something that is causing some connectivity problems, causing some performance problems. So which is why Checkpoint is having a range of appliances coming from boxes focused on many of the data center projects, with boxes having some additional values like much easier serviceability of the appliance, having a dedicated modules to provide a low latency, or the boxes that are carrier class grade platforms that already have all the attributes also to scale. So as your data center, as your maybe customer base is growing, you can keep adding additional processing power, running all the security, providing the speeds that you expect. On the other hand, inside the virtualization, there is a lot you can do. We see new initiatives going to ideas of having so-called micro-segmentation. So every piece of the data center, every virtual machine may be a very small segment, if necessary, from a security and organizational point of view. So how to make it real? There must be some integration points. Actually, those integration points are open for quite some long time. Checkpoint is working with VMware, leveraging the APIs that open to networking and security vendors since, I believe, year 2010. So there is some history about it. There is a lot of big installation that are taking benefits of that hypervisor level integration. So part of that virtualization, we have virtual switch that are connecting those virtual networking interface cards in between each other and to external environment. So what might be an integration point for networking part for software-defined networks? So this is actually what VMware is doing with the NSX solution, taking that control, power, control intelligence into centralized point and using NSX manager to control how those virtual components, virtual networking components are behaving. But also, it might be enabled for more detailed, more precise security that Checkpoint is providing on the level of those filters that are installed on every and each networking card of the virtual machines that you have in your data center, which is providing you excellent flexibility and very detailed control about how you are communicating, what is the communication inside that data center. So many of those traffic flows don't need to leave the data center anymore, or leave the virtualization anymore to be processed by some physical devices, but you can implement the security inside the virtualization with all the flexibility. Of course, one thing is to put some device inside. The other thing is how to manage that. So this is the important part of the management platform, and how deep we are able to integrate with the knowledge that already resides in how you have defined your environment. creating a new server, provisioning new server. Maybe you are probably already stating that it's a web server, maybe it's even a public web server, and there is some security related, some role of that server related to that. So wouldn't it be fine if Checkpoint is able to collect all that information, use it directly in our security policies? And this is what I'm about to show you right now. So what we are doing, we are taking the proven security solutions, firewall, intrusion prevention system, all the layers that we have for the modern fight with modern malware, and we are putting it inside the virtual environments. On hypervisor level, we can go even that deep that we can control every single communication between the two VMs without taking the traffic out into some physical box. We are combining it with proven Checkpoint security management. So there is the same language, same management tools, same nice policy monitoring and defining tools that you are used to for physical boxes that you can use inside the virtualization. And we are able to take advantage of more traditional part of VMware and the new technologies like NSX. Technically, it means that the virtual edition of Checkpoint is part of the virtualized data center. We have a VE gateway that is running next to each of the gateways that are running the real services, and it's integrated really very low on that level of each connection that virtual machine is doing, providing that security. Just an idea that real data center security shouldn't be anymore about just an access control. Access control is not efficient. It's minimizing the risks. It's definitely part of the best practices to find the right ways of segmentation. Even leverage that idea of micro-segmentation when it's relevant. But once the flow, once the connection is legitimate based on the firewall rule, it doesn't mean that some malicious request is able to come. And this is the role of IPS. Checkpoint intrusion prevention system is technically something that is taking the role of those expensive, hard to manage, dedicated intrusion prevention systems. We proved to absorb a lot of those IPS solutions, that part of the market, and technically all those big names of those fancy names of attacks that you have seen in headlines last year, in most of the majority of the cases, there was a IPS protection that we have very quickly released for that problem. So this is the way how you can be delivering the virtual patches inside your data center, even faster than the application company is enabling you to install the patch of the real application. You can have the protection in IPS that is not allowing the connection to the server that can hurt the service, that can misuse the service. Even a data center is not away from malware activities. And in case there is no segmentation, there is no access control, and there is no way to find out the activities of the malware, it might be easy to spread inside your data center, replicate from server to server, and we need to find some border, we need to find some intelligence how to stop that. And of course, modern firewalls, the next generation firewalls, are not anyway about IP addresses and port numbers. They are more about what is the language of your business? Telling, this is the group of users, they have that and that role in my security policy, in my business, and they should be able to use this and this application. So this is what you can describe thanks to application control. Application control is there also to help you to block some malicious, unwanted applications, to block also the type of software like anonymizers that are finding the ways how to bypass the existing firewall security policy. So this is all that is true for Checkpoint physical firewall gateways, but it can be also done inside of your data center, inside virtualization. So it's natural part of that solution. It is very important to understand that Checkpoint, from the early days, we are part of implementing those solutions. We are using VMware APIs from early days, the previous APIs, and we are doing same. We are continuing with that, and we are really committed with doing that with the recent version of the product, including the NSX platform. To make sure that this is available and everything is orchestrated together, there are a few integration points. One of the points I have mentioned, and this is the objects like security groups that already exist in the VMware database. So if you created a virtual machine, you described it, you put it into some security group, you are able to see it in Checkpoint. But also we are opening our security management tools to be orchestrated with other parts of the networking equipment. So this is why we have now the web services APIs that is open to help you to reach your goals of making everything smoother and much easier. It doesn't mean that security policies should be that much dynamic. Very often, the best practice would be to create the templates that are reflecting what is the usual role of your users and your services, like something being a web server or something being a database. And thanks to dynamic objects, where we don't know yet when and where the virtual machine will be running, we can learn all those new virtual machines from that VMware environment, and it's already there. So at the point I'm turning on the new virtual machine, everything regarding the security policies will be already in place with the right permissions and enough open communication to make sure that the application is able to work. I told you at the beginning of presentation there are three aspects of the game. One of them that is the most developed one is how we are virtualizing the services. So the services itself. So computing resources that are providing the power to run your virtual machines. Then there is the networking. A lot is happening in networking to make it more flexible, not to be slowing you down with the changes. And we are learning a bit about how security is already there and how it is ready to be integrated under the common roof. So there are some examples of technologies, players in that area that can be finally under the common roof. Some real examples, how it looks like defining those policies. So imagine that what is powering that idea is that the guys who are responsible in your data center for creating the infrastructure, describing it in products like NSX, they are creating some configuration entities like security groups. And Checkpoint is able to consume that information. There is an API integration between a Checkpoint and VMware management, so we are able to obtain every change that you do. It can be the whole security group, but it can be even the small information, maybe some label that you put into your server. So we can have quite complex queries to reach your goals regarding security policy. Then we are able to enforce it. Checkpoint is a little bit different than the solution of other competitors, because we have the power to do it not only inside virtualization, but also outside the data center, on the physical boxes that are in front of your data center. Companies already invested thousands, maybe millions of dollars into physical security gateways, and they should be part of the game. It's not that easy just to remove them and put everything into virtualization. Even from the architecture point of view, in many cases, it doesn't make sense. So we need to make sure that both physical and virtual gateways are able to consume that information. Something which is even going one step further, imagine that the intelligence we have in Checkpoint, and one of the blades that Checkpoint is having is called Antibot. Antibot is a bit special blade because it's not one of the prevention blades, it's more in the post-infection part of the story, which means your organization is already infected. Maybe some users are bringing their laptops from home. Maybe there is some other vector, like maybe it started with a USB flash drive that started some malware software inside the network. But what Antibot is able to do is able to, to find out that there is some unwanted communication with command and control centers on the internet. But imagine it might be happening from your virtualized desktops. It can be even the case that some of the servers are doing that unwanted activity. It's something that you should know, and maybe you can reflect it, and you can provide that security value up to that networking and virtualization infrastructure. So when there is one central controlling point, the security should be able to provide that feedback. So once we are learning that some virtualized desktop maybe is running a part of the botnet, we should be able to tell VMware that it's the case. And how we are doing that? We just put a label on that specific virtual machine, so it's much more visible to administrators of that environment. Visibility is an important part of the story, and we are able to consume objects and a very same objects that you have defined in VMware vCenter. So all the objects that are appearing in checkpoint reports, logs, they have a common naming, and you are not doubling your work. It means that it's much easier, much smoother cooperation between guys responsible for the servers, responsible for the network, and also responsible for the security of the whole environment. So there is just a single place, and everyone is able to benefit from that. The concept of dynamic objects, I should show it in real life. So imagine that instead of having specific IP address, virtualization is a very dynamic thing. You can power it, you can move with the current technologies, you can move the machines between the servers. Sometimes it might be owning very different IP addresses because from the networking point of view, it had to be moved there. But thanks to dynamic object integration, we still know the current situation. There is a template in the security rule base that is always current. Powering up new web server or moving the web server to the other part of the infrastructure, there is no need for interaction between VMware server guys, application guys, and the security guy. The security guy has his job already done, defining that dynamic object-based rule, something that is precise, that is right from the security goals that the company is having. So it all started in the management tools of VMware, and basically we are able to take the flows of our interest and make sure that only the specific flows that should go to checkpoint for the inspection, they are going. So we are part of that rules, and in some security groups, we are implementing that for every communication, outside the virtualization, inside the data center, but also in between the virtual machines. So, and this is how the tagging is working. Once we learn that some part of the infrastructure is infected, we are able to tell that upper layer umbrella management that the bot is active, and we can somehow label that machine. So to succeed, to make it more flexible, definitely the security is not stopping you from being flexible. Networking is slowly getting there. Checkpoint, from the beginning, we have centralized management architecture that is now opening with new APIs. We are cooperating with vendors like VMware, Cisco. We are part of initiatives like OpenStack. So we are able to deploy our checkpoint gateways in the physical world as well as in the cloud. So deploying and outsourcing a group of your servers to Microsoft Azure or to Amazon Cloud, you are not stopped from using same security technology. You can use same centralized management and control the firewall that is in front of your servers, even if they are now in hands of public cloud or private set of servers in public cloud of Amazon or Microsoft. Specifically for VMware, we are integrating with the latest solutions, using the latest APIs, and we are part of the story to deliver all the full coverage in every direction. So thank you for your attention. I'm here all the day, so I will be happy to answer your potential questions. Maybe I hope that it initiated some ideas how to proceed with security and maybe to create some future projects in your environment. So, and you are not closed into some directions. You can be flexible enough to do it whatever scenario, whatever design you are about to choose. So thank you.